Well, hi everyone. I'm Bill Gates, and I'm sitting here in my office thinking about how fast time flies. I'll be turning 70 this year. Can you believe that? I've spent decades building Microsoft, tackling global challenges through the foundation, and learning from every twist and turn along the way. I've learned a ton from my own experiences, like how true friendship means surrounding yourself with people who challenge you to think bigger, or how no matter how much success you've achieved, you can't buy more time, so you shouldn't pack your calendar so full that you miss out on what really counts. I've always emphasized focusing on what you're passionate about. I stuck to software and innovation, and using your resources to make a difference, whether that's through charity or just helping others in small ways. I've taken that to heart in my own life. After stepping back from Microsoft in 2008, I dove into global health and education through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, because solving big problems like malaria or access to education gives me purpose, and has saved millions of lives. But today, I want to share some life lessons straight from my own journey, especially if you're in your 50 seconds or 60 seconds. These aren't from some textbook or fancy lecture. They're from my 70 years of living, watching, making mistakes, and learning from them. Because your 50 seconds and 60 seconds aren't the end, they're not just coasting to the finish line. No, these can be some of the best, most important, most meaningful years if you approach them right, understanding what matters and what to let go of. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and let me tell you what I've learned. What I wish I'd known back when I was your age, and how it shaped my path. Looking back at my own 50 seconds, I remember being incredibly busy in the 2000s. Microsoft was at its peak. We were launching Windows Vista, expanding into new areas like search and mobile. I was reading reports until midnight, traveling the world, meeting with leaders, constantly moving. And I loved it. Still do, actually. I still dive into projects every day. Can't help myself. But if I'm being honest, I missed some things. I miss more time with my kids, moments I can't get back. My daughter Jennifer has talked about how our family life was intense. And looking back, I wish I'd been around more, not all the time, but for the little things like school events and deeper dinner conversations. And you know what? Those reports were still there the next day. The deals would have waited, but those moments with my family were gone, just gone. I've felt that deeply, especially after my divorce from Melinda in 2021. It made me reflect on how work can overshadow relationships if you're not careful. So that's the first thing I want to tell you. If you're in your 50 seconds or 60 seconds, don't make that mistake. Don't get so caught up in building, accumulating, doing, that you forget the being. Because 30 years from now, you won't remember the extra hours worked, the deals made, or money saved, but you will remember the time with loved ones, the trips, the conversations, the moments you were present. That's what sticks. And let me add, from my experience, make it a habit. Schedule family time like you would a meeting. I started doing that more intentionally later, blocking out weeks just for vacations or quiet evenings, and it made all the difference. Now, with my grandkids on the way, Jennifer's expecting, I prioritize those connections even more. Now, let's talk money. Because I know that's why a lot of you are here, what to do with it at this age. A lot of folks think that by 50 or 60, it's too late to build wealth, too late to invest, too late to change your finances. But that's just not true. Let me give you real numbers. if you're 55 with $100,000 saved, put it in a simple index fund averaging 10% a year, like the S&P 500 historically, by 75, that's about $670,000. Add $500 a month over those 20 years, and you're over $1 million starting at 55. The math works. Compounding doesn't care about age. It just rolls like a snowball down a hill. I've always believed in the power of compounding. It's what turned Microsoft from a garage startup in 1975 into a $1 trillion company. And at this stage, many are in peak earning years. Kids out of the house, mortgage nearly paid. So you've got a window to accelerate redirecting that money into your future. But you have to be intentional, not just hope. I've applied this in my own way. After building Microsoft, I focused on compounding impact through philanthropy, not just dollars. Giving away money strategically can compound good in the world, like investing in vaccines that save millions of lives over generations. I pledged to give away virtually all my wealth in the next 20 years through the foundation, focusing on saving lives and improving global health. It's about making your money work for something bigger than yourself. I see patterns in mistakes people make here, and I'd made a few myself early on. First, spending like they're still 35, feeling invincible, splashing on new cars, bigger houses, fancy vacations, expensive restaurants. Some of that's fine when you're young, with decades to recover, but at 55 or 60, every dollar spent isn't compounding for you. I'm not saying live like a monk or skip enjoyment, but be smart. I drive a modest car and live in the same house I've had for years. People ask why not something flashier, since I can afford it, but I don't need it. It gets me there, and that saved money compounds or goes to causes I care about. It's about clarity, what you need versus what you think you need. I remember in my 50 seconds, I ramped up my reading even more, 50 books a year, because knowledge compounds too. Invest in yourself first through education and skills. That's the best return. Second mistake, trying to hit home runs. When folks panic about being behind on retirement, they chase shortcuts, hot stocks, crypto, investments promising doubles in a year, and usually lose. After decades in tech and investing, I can tell you the successful ones hit steady singles, not risky swings. Boring, consistent returns. If you're 55 or 60 trying to double fast, stop. You'll likely lose and lack time to recover. Emotional discipline is huge here. I've mastered staying calm during market crashes, like in 2008 during the financial crisis. In tech, I saw bubbles burst, like the dot-com crash in 2000, but focusing on long-term value, like software that solves real problems, that's what endures. Don't let fear or greed drive decisions. I've learned that the hard way from early Microsoft investments that didn't pan out. So what should you do? First, get clear on expenses. Sit with pen and paper or a spreadsheet. List everything: mortgage, utilities, groceries, insurance, subscriptions you forgot. Look hard. Do I need this? Does it make life better, or is it just habit? People pay for unused gym memberships, unwatched streaming services, cars sitting in the garage. Cut it, not out of necessity, but why waste? I did this when transitioning from Microsoft to full-time philanthropy, streamlining freed up resources for bigger impact. Second, pay off high interest debt, credit cards, loans over 6 or 7%. It's compounding against you and you can't outinvest it. Third, max retirement accounts, 401k at work, especially catch-up contributions if 50 plus, or open an IRA, Roth if qualifying. Tax advantages, let money grow government free. It's free money, take it. Fourth, invest in index funds. For most people, a low-cost S&P 500 fund beats picking stocks, crypto, or gold. It goes up over time, not every year, but long-term. I've beaten markets through tech bets, but I advise index funds because they work for decades without needing to read financial statements for fun like I do. And let me add, find your passion in this. If money management bores you, automate it with funds, then spend time on what lights you up, maybe starting a side project or volunteering. That's how I shifted to global health, using my wealth to fund innovations in vaccines and sanitation. But everything about money is important, yet something is even more important, time. When young, you think you'll travel later, spend family time later, do things later, but later often doesn't come. At 70, I'd trade $1 billion for another 20 healthy years, but I can't. Time is the one thing you cannot buy. So in your 50 seconds or 60 seconds, think how many good years are left. Maybe 20 to 25 if you're 60, more if you're lucky. How are you spending them? Working 60 hours at a job you hate, sacrificing health, relationships, happiness for more money. I know people who did that, worked to the bone, saved every penny, retired with a nest egg, then were too tired, too sick, or passed away soon after. Money unused, a tragedy. Find balance, save, invest, but live now. And I've learned this too. Don't overfill your schedule. Leave space for spontaneity and people, because a busy calendar isn't success. If it burns you out, I used to pack every minute at Microsoft, but now I build in thinking time, weeks just to read and reflect. It's how I come up with ideas for the foundation, like breakthroughs in Alzheimer's research, because people should enjoy old age without the fear of cognitive decline. Time isn't money. I can buy almost anything, but not an extra day. So treat it preciously, organize well, plan ahead, but leave room for joy, like playing tennis or exploring new books. What would I do differently? People ask if I'd change anything. I'd spend more time with loved ones earlier. I built a great company, made money, done things I'm proud of, like helping eradicate polio in many places. But I spent a lot of time working, coding, thinking tech. Some of that was necessary. But some nights, late at the office, I could have gone home, dined with Melinda, played with the kids. Some weekends on projects, I could have taken the family on trips, gone to events, been present. Those moments are gone. After the divorce, I think daily about not taking relationships for granted, not assuming there's always more time ahead, but there isn't. So if you have loved ones, spend time now. Call your parents if they're still around. Tell them you love them. Spend time with your kids. Even if they're grown, spend time with your partner. Money doesn't matter if you're alone. Success is empty if you can't share it. It's connection, love, relationships that make life worth living. and nurture them, like investments. Small acts of kindness build trust over time, just like interest. I taught my kids this. Invest your time and money in things that expand your mind and character, not just material things. Rory, Phoebe, and Jennifer grew up with chores and modest allowances. To learn value and health, I wish I'd paid more attention younger. I eat pretty healthily now, but earlier I was all about work, not always prioritizing exercise or checkups. I got away with it because of good genes, but the body's fragile. I've had minor issues, and it reminds me how vital health is. I've invested billions in global health because everyone deserves access to care. So in your 50 seconds and 60 seconds, make doctor checkups a priority. Don't ignore health issues. Exercise, walk, swim, keep strong. I play tennis regularly now. All the money is pointless. If you're too sick to enjoy life, people retire rich but can't travel because of bad knees, can't play with grandkids because of back pain. It's heartbreaking. Take care of your body. You only get one. And emotional discipline helps too. Staying calm amid ups and downs, because good habits compound. I prioritize movement and reading about health tech, like AI for disease prevention. Health is wealth. Truly, without it, nothing else matters. That's why the foundation focuses on innovations in longevity and preventing diseases like Alzheimer's. We need breakthroughs so people can enjoy their later years fully on Social Security. When should you take it? It depends. If you're working healthy and don't need the money immediately, wait until 70. Your benefit increases 8% yearly. It's a guaranteed return that's hard to beat. But if you're unhealthy or need the money sooner or might not reach 80, take it at 62 for peace of mind and a better life. Same with pensions. Usually monthly payments are best for guaranteed lifetime income. But if you're unhealthy or have no spouse benefiting, maybe a lump sum makes more sense. Think it through. Talk to an advisor. If needed, don't guess. And while you're thinking about security, think bigger. Financial freedom lets you take calculated risks, like my shift from Microsoft to philanthropy in my 50 seconds. At 70, I think about legacy, not just money, though I'm giving 99% to charity, but I'm thinking about how I treated people. What I taught my kids, whether I set a good example, integrity matters. Keeping your word matters. Making the world better matters. That's what people remember. So in your 50 seconds and 60 seconds, ask yourself, what do you want to be remembered for? A workaholic always absent, a hoarder of wealth, or someone present, generous, someone who made a difference? It's not too late. Refocus on family, give to charity, help friends, apologize, repair relationships. You have time, enough time to change, to grow, to leave the legacy you want. Take calculated risks. With discipline, I've focused on saving lives through the foundation, and it's fulfilling. True wealth is what you give. Start small. Volunteer, mentor, use your skills for good. I live like a university student, picking problems I care about and working on them. That keeps me engaged. One more thing, the power of gratitude. I wake up grateful for health, friends, family, and the opportunities I've had in America. It's a happiness secret. There's always something to complain about, but if you focus on what you have, health, family, a roof, food, you realize you already have enough Don't lose the good chasing the perfect, because perfect doesn't exist. I practice gratitude daily. It doesn't erase problems, but it gives perspective. Each day, I note 3 good things. It shifts my mindset, and lifelong learning. I'm a voracious reader, always curious. At your age, keep learning, read books, take courses, stay sharp. It keeps life exciting and your mind active. I recommend books like How to Avoid a Climate Disaster or others on global issues. Focus, commit, build networks. They compound too. Well, I suppose we're wrapping up. And if you're in your 50 seconds or 60 seconds, you've got experience, wisdom, and enough time to change, to build, to live well, get your finances in order, not because money is everything, but because avoiding financial stress gives freedom. Plan, save, invest, pay down debt, live within your means. It opens your life. And remember, bad habits fade. If you nurture good ones, principles outlive everything. Good behavior compounds. So take action today, review your spending, call a loved one, schedule that checkup, read a book, give to a cause. If this helped, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe for more insights like this. Thanks for watching.